Hey, what's going on, everybody? Um, I know that I have been posting a whole lot here lately. I just have a whole lot on my mind, and I'm super excited about posting. Um, yeah, I just get really excited about it. I have a whole lot on my mind right now about MGTOW. Um, yeah, like you know, I interacting. I had a very interesting interaction with somebody online, and it just got me thinking about just interacting with females in general and just coming across those type people. And I just think that you know you can't you can't reason with people, and a lot of times us men we're so stoic and we don't want to say stuff. We don't want to rock the boat because we know what happens when we do. It's just a this thunderstorm of irrationality, you know, just emotion based thinking. You can be as patient and measured and uh, you know you can uphold your end of conversations. You can be as respectful as much as you can, but none of that matters to them. The best interaction that you can have with them is no interaction, and that's just the sad truth. And yeah, it's just these people are so angry. You can't speak just general truth. You can't just say, hey, like basically I was saying, hey, we have problems too, and we do. People have problems. I think, you know, there would be aspects of being a female that I think would be pretty bad. Like I think that for example, I think that yeah, you do sometimes get unwanted attention. I think that sometimes females go out in public and they're not necessarily trying to get attention, but just being in the society, I think that sometimes I would feel uncomfortable in certain situations if I was female. I think that that's a valid thing. I think that's a situational thing. I think that some of that can be avoided. Um, but I think that the real danger. I'm not saying that there's like no rapes happen, but they're just so rare. You don't really hear about it. I think that they have like rape scares on campuses just to get people riled up. I really do think that they do that legitimately because of with the news and the fake news and the hoaxes, false flags. If you completely buy into that stuff, you might just buy into feminism. And I was thinking that these people online that like to just bash on MGTOW, they are probably just watching television and they are just eating up all of this gynocentric feminist nonsense. And watching those shows, it just it really kind of baffles me how just the common sense, like they females just eat this up. They learn about the world on these shows and they learn about relationships a whole lot because females just they're very relationship minded. They're always looking at people and interactions and how they can benefit through those interactions, what they can do to manipulate a man to get to the top, to get at the highest level of power and influence and money. It's all about usury. A lot of females just don't really care about men as people, and we're just nothing but walking wallets. And as a man, I know my worth. I'm not an ATM. I'm not a walking wallet. You know. Yeah, the whole dating thing, that's messed up because the moment you say, hey, let's just go Dutch, I just want to get to know you as a person. No, they don't want to do that. They want power because once you pay for them, that's when they're like, oh, okay, oh, I finally have price on my sexual, on my vagina. I can finally put a price to that. And yeah, traditional relationships are just prostitution. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but yeah, I grew up being kind of traditionalist. I used to think, oh yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. You know, you just look at the examples in your life, and you're like, hey, This is how you're supposed to do. You watch movies and you see how things are, and you think that okay, maybe I can operate in this realm. Maybe I can be the traditional male, and and do my best. And yeah, females, y'all don't really realize how hard it is for us to initiate or interaction, maintain correspondence, uphold a relationship. In the face of trouble, we want to maintain we want to keep things going, because a lot of times it's access to sex that we're looking for. A lot of us young men, a lot of young men, especially in their teens and 20s, yeah, they're totally hormone driven, and they do what they can, and it really wrecks their self-esteem. I think females, you guys don't really understand your power in your ability to wreck a man's self-esteem and self-worth. Because a lot of men, they put their eggs in a basket trying to impress y'all, trying to do what they can. There's a lot of lost guys out there doing like pickup artist type stuff, and all that stuff just ain't worth it. It's just too much work, And a lot of men, they're just kind of frustrated about it, because it's human nature to want a pair bond, and yeah, there's just a whole lot of power behind MGTOW, because it's like the only space that we have left, like you get into a traditional like marriage, and then your wife just kind of relegates you to the basement. You got the man cave, if you're paying for the whole house is your cave. It's not even a cave, it's your house. Have the basement for her. I mean, like, just the way things are, females don't really, society's just really geared towards females, and just feminism, and people being so hateful and divisive, and I just really, I always thought it was unfair growing up. It's just it's crazy how toxic these people can be, because this lady that I talked to online, there's just no reason. There's not a speck of reason. When I commented, I was very respectful. Just I just stated the facts. I said, hey, us men, we got problems too, and you just can't say anything that's truthful. I don't understand. It's just this. I can't understand embracing this heavy form of feminism. It's got to be feminism, because this lady was a life coach, or she was a self-professed life coach, and you watch a lot of those TV shows. I'm not going to name the TV shows. I don't want to, you know what I mean. Don't want to give them power, but I just don't understand women. It's just emotion-based thinking. And then she was saying in one of her videos, she was saying, you just need to just keep your feelings to yourself. Just go to your corner and cry about it, or like go in your corner, and like, how is that gonna do any good for society? If you're gonna shame men. And that's another thing. Like, you can't shame us, because we see that coming. We totally see it coming. And it's like, just bring it, because we expect it at this point. Because like, that just reflects your low character quality. You can't talk about, like, what do you do when you can't. Yeah, that's just a very common tactic that females do to deflect. They want to just always jab you where they think that it hurts. They always just say, well, so and so, you're a loser or something, and what does that have to do with the conversation? Because you can respect me as a person, but you're probably not going to. And when I talk to you, facts, and then they just get you back with, well, this and that about you, or it's just like, where is this coming from? And I think I know where it is coming from, to be honest with you. I think that it's self-hatred. um, like I said, everybody's got problems, and I think that it's about time for both genders to recognize both sides of the equation. I think the ability for men to be empathetic of women is really dampened because of the hatred of feminism, and a lot of men tend to demonize all women, and I think that generalizations can be formed because of that, because a lot of females are female nature is female nature, and they will be hypergamous, and they will take the better deal. Doesn't matter if you're good to them, nice to them, good looking, as long as the other guy's got what they're looking for, the money, wealth, status, power. They always kind of they go where the money is. Because it's in their instinct. It's you can't fully fault them for it. It's it's like I said, the gathering instinct. They want to go with the biggest, better deal to ensure that their kids have the best resources. You find that in nature. But yeah, it's like it's 2017. I would like to think that a lot of people are tired of feminists. I think a lot of people are self-professed feminists, but they just keep it under wraps because they know that men don't like feminism. So, being the social chameleons that a lot of females are, they're like, oh, I'm not into feminism anymore, because they want to keep their access to men available. And yeah, there's just a whole lot of unfair, unbalanced aspects of society that is really overwhelmingly on the women's side. I mean, you can get into the divorce courts and how men get taken advantage of. Like, seriously, like, society views us as just a commodity or a resource or just a disposable utility, and women view us the same way, and society's very unfair to us. And there's suicide rates and stuff. When I was talking to this lady, she was I said, men have issues too, but I believe that the way that she was interpreting me saying that we have issues, she had it in her mind that we all have just mental issues, and that's where it stops. But it really isn't. Like, it really is a deep, multifaceted problem. We have suicide rates that are crazy. These young kids that just get devastated by females. Maybe they got single mothers, not successful with females. Society telling them to be a certain way, but nobody really telling them that's okay. There's no strong male role models. Not a whole lot of solidarity between men in general. Like, a lot of times we're just like, just suck it up, dude. Like, somebody could be having a really hard time, but yeah, that's kind of our fault as men. We need to be a little bit more, accepting, and just give a little bit of time to our fellow brothers. But I think a lot of us are just on guard because I had this one friend that I had to kind of drop because he was just overwhelmingly negative, always had a problem, and I just couldn't handle that spiritually. Heart goes out to him, but yeah, life's too short to just be depressed all the time. I mean, but yeah, life is a tough journey for everybody, and a lot of times when people are feeling bad about themselves, they want other people to feel as bad as them. So what they do is they say and do whatever they can to make you feel bad, and they do that to make you feel worthless when you're not worthless. So that's something to think about. But yeah, I wrote some notes about stuff, but yeah, I was just thinking about MGTOW in general, and just females, just how you can't, like, there's just not even a shred of just decency or anything. Like, there's no sense of common courtesy, and that's in general with society too. Like with the whole opening up doors for women. That's how I was raised. I was like, okay, open up doors. I basically open up doors for anybody if you're in my vicinity. If I'm coming out or coming in, or you're coming up behind me, I'll hold the door. I think most people do that. A lot of times people don't say anything, and that's what kind of irks me. And a lot of times I just want to avoid the situation altogether. And what I do is, if I see anyone near the door, I just hold back a little bit. I am more willing to open a door for a guy, because almost 100% of the time, a fellow guy will say thank you. You know what I mean? And that's awesome, because common courtesy it really goes a long way. Oh, and I wanted to breach on this too. Females, y'all really don't do much. At least in my experience. I'm not gonna say this for everyone, but a little bit goes a long way. One of my ex-girlfriends, when I was with her, she just one day gave me a little Debbie snack cake, like a brownie, and she just grabbed it in her house. Like she grabbed it and gave it to me later in the day, and I was like, thank you, thanks. And it was that little gesture that I remember, and I'll always remember, because it was sweet and it was random, and for a minute there you just feel like a human. Really, a lot of times the onus is up to the male to do everything to kind of prove that he is worthy, to prove that he is worthy. So little gestures, ladies, if you got your boyfriend, if he's out doing yard work or something, just make him make him a drink and bring it out to him. You don't have to do it all the time. Just do it like once in the blue moon, and it'll mean the world to us. You know what I mean? It doesn't take much to make us happy. You know what I mean? A lot of times society and women themselves, they're just more wrapped up in what they're going through. But just those little moments of humanity really, really do mean a lot. And like I said, I remember her giving me that brownie, and it was really sweet. So, but yeah, like I was writing all kinds of notes, and I guess I'll make this a long video too, because I feel like I get a lot off my chest. And like I said, it's like this lady felt like she had the right to kind of go into MGTOW space, or to title her video as MGTOW, and then just be all inflammatory, thinking that she's going somewhere with that. She thought she had the right to do that, and I feel like I could either ignore her, and like that's good, to ignore people when they're like that. But this is not. I'm not at work where I have to be a certain way. Like I said, we're human beings, and the internet is like one of the last places where you can kind of be yourself, or just express yourself. The internet is a great place to do that. It's not a male space. It's not a female space. It's an everybody space. And yes, sure. There's censorship and all that stuff going down, and corporatocracy, censorship, and just the way the world's going is crazy. But just I lost my train of thought. But like just the way things are going. Another thing, I just wrote notes, so I'm just gonna go down the list here. When it comes to victimhood complex, us men, we don't own that. Like I said, I was circumcised as an infant, and that really deeply affected me. It still does. It's something I have to carry my whole life. It's an unfortunate tragedy. It's a body shaming thing. It's a societal norm that is a human rights violation, and it is rape. I was raped, and I don't own a victimhood status. I'm not trying to get anything out of anybody from telling the truth about that. Um, you know what I mean? I don't understand embracing victimhood status or being like, oh, I'm always oppressed, so give me. I mean, it's just that females, they're always trying to leverage or trying to just get whatever they can for free and stuff, and a lot of blaming in the media of men, and yeah, we're just tired of being demonized, you know. Um, I'll just say it out loud. Yeah, like if I was circumcised, so my level of pleasure has been diminished. Like there's neurons firing in my brain that's not going anywhere. If you really think about it, it's really tragic. You know what I mean? And I think that being introspective about it, females just don't really get down to those levels. They don't want to. It's like all these TV shows and everything. It's just all about, like you go to the grocery store and you get a Cosmopolitan. It's all about 10 things you can do to get a man or something. Or, you don't see. I guess you do see like GQ or something, but men don't really subscribe to those. We don't really care about. A lot of men care about what they got to do to get females, but it's just that there's a lot of man bashing, manipulation, just being supported by the infrastructure of the society. So the fact that females cannot really wake up to it, or they seem to not care about waking up to it, they're not doing anything about waking up to it, they're not speaking up about circumcision for once. That's something that really makes me mad, that they just don't seem to care. I think as human beings we need to be supportive of each other, and I think that it's in our nature to. Men are just, we're built to protect and provide and be caring, and I think that it's weird how society inverts things. Like men are the altruistic, benevolent ones. We are the ones that have the empathy and the compassion. We're the ones that really want to make things good in the world, and we are looked down on and shamed, and and when it comes to the shaming, bring it, because that's just you're just showing yourself. You're showing your character's showing when you try to drag people down like that. It just makes you look bad. But yeah, us men, we have a bad rap for being good, and females have a good rap for mostly being bad. I'm not going to say that all of y'all are bad. The majority of y'all are, but that's not to say that there's not potential diamonds in the rough out there. I know there's a lot of chameleons, but I don't believe in a unicorn. I really don't. Like the magical Nawalt unicorn. No. Love is conditional in this world. There's always a benefit. There's always a give and take, and it would be unrealistic to think that you didn't live in a world where it was just puppy dogs and whatever analogy you might want to use, where everything's just yeah. And that's another thing that kind of reminds me. It's like women have this reputation of being sugar and spice, everything nice, and men are snakes and snails and puppy dog tails. Do you think that's fair? Yeah, men go out to if there's a war, guess who gets drafted? Men do. And this is going to be kind of inflammatory, but it's true. This is how I feel. Why should women vote? If there's a war, you're going to be able to vote us into war. You know, they're not going to make women go to war. So if they're going to give females the right to vote, they're not going to vote for them to go to war before us or to go to war with us. I mean, I wouldn't want them to go to war without, you know what I mean? Like, it should. I don't think that war is right anyway. I think that war is just manufactured. Both sides are funded by the same people. Follow the money. I don't want to get too much into conspiracy. I think that I'll just save that for another video, because the way the world works is simple. Just follow the money. Really, a lot of it's common sense. Common sense. The world is more simple than you think. Yeah. Why do people care about other people's genitalia? Like, why do mothers, which are ultimately in charge of circumcising their kids, why do they care? It's like it's more aesthetically pleasing, but why do you care about your son's genitalia? It's not like you're in bed with them. You're not going to have sex with your son. You're just trying to do a solid to the next girl. And for what? For a fleeting moment? When your son could be living his life not trying to be a sexual being, trying to be more of an intellectual being, and you're just causing pain for nothing. You just see these other men in your life that are circumcised, and they're like, oh yeah, it's fine, I don't even think. Well, maybe they're narcissists, maybe they're topical thinkers, maybe they're not. There's all different kinds of people. There's people like me that want to be introspective and to get to the bottom of how they feel in the world, and I just like to think. I like to keep my brain active, and I'm very self-aware, and it's just really insane how the world is throwing innocent babies under the bus. It's like nobody cares. You get a bad lot in life, and or you get a bad thing that happens to you, and the people who are supposed to care don't, and a lot of you can get support with men, but there's not a lot of support there because they're chasing. It's just everybody's kind of, it's like a web, and what I mean, and the web is set up a certain way, and if you don't get a lot of power and comfort from yourself, if you have faith, I recommend that. I still question things with with religion from time to time, but I feel like there is power. There's power. I got this King James Bible from a store, and I've been reading it a little bit, and I don't think there's anything wrong with talking about it. The powers that be might want us to adhere to a book like that. Who knows? But it's better to be safe than sorry, I guess. But not trying to get too much into politics or religion. Let's see what else. I'm tired of feeling like I'm led to feel like I've done something wrong when I've done nothing wrong. I guess, females might not understand, like, you might be right about something as a man, but instead of proving your point, you want to make the female happy, so throughout the process of arguing, you just capitulate to the female, and you end up just kind of stuffing emotions and just feeling like you feel bad for making her cry when it was just alligator tears to begin with. Like they're just manipulators. Like I've been with some heartless females. It's really, oh man, they have the capability to just cut you down. Really. And because of sexual access, you're just kind of too scared to just move on. But really, guys, if you're young, just don't settle, and if you're a virgin, stay that way, because that's actually a good thing. Society should promote that more, because our society is just overly sexualized anyway. But yeah, feeling like you did something wrong when it's hard to articulate that. I mean, like being a man and being a circumcised man, I feel like I can't really get a handle of my emotions. It's hard to articulate how I feel. It's hard to kind of get a grasp of how I feel. And when I feel like I'm led to feel like yeah, it's totally the media saying that, oh yeah, you're dirty, you're gross, you're a buffoon, you're lazy, you know, I'm gonna kick you in the crotch or something, or you can't make good decisions without a woman and stuff like that. Like I think that attacks you on a subliminal level, and it hits you in a very deep spot. And as men, we have an inferiority complex. Yeah, yeah. You hear about dick measuring contests, and you know what I mean. Like you hear about there's a lot of insecurity when it comes to the male genitalia, but you never hear anything about, well, hey, she's got lopsided boobs, or her labias are droopy, or there's not a lot of female shaming. It's like, females, y'all can't do wrong, even though y'all ain't perfect either. So the shaming can go both ways, but I mean, a lot of times us men, we keep you away from the truth because we want to get in there. We want to have sex. And that's just the truth. I figure I'll just be honest talking about MGTOW stuff, because females need to know this information, and males need to know more red pill information too, because there's a lot of bad influences out there, a lot of bad role models with the media. I was a lost kid too, but none of that led into any kind of positive spiritual direction. I just always felt kind of drained, But anyway, yeah, talking to females is pointless. You can't reason with them. They don't care to listen. You can't have just a straight. Yeah, I have had positive conversations, just very topical. Like I said, I'm very cerebral, and I like to get into conversations, but when it stays on a topical level, yeah, there can be good interactions, but I always feel like in the back burner of my mind, I'm just wondering, where's this going to go? I can't help but to I guess have an agenda, and that kind of sucks, because what I really want is to be friends with people anyway, and like I shouldn't even have to worry about potentials, like is this girl gonna like me, or but I mean, more times than not, they're not gonna like you, because either you don't drive the right car, or you don't have the best living situation, or you don't have enough money, or you're not showing signs of wealth. You don't flash a wristwatch. You don't, you might not wear the right clothes or something. Like us men, we just don't care about those things. We'd rather save our money and have it go towards hobbies. There's people who spend it in more unwise ways, like drinking and drugs. And I mean, alcohol is a drug, but yeah, they just spend money that way. I love my video games. I don't see anything wrong with that, really, because kind of an escape, and I like to listen to YouTube videos while I play games too. I think that's really cool. But I'm always going off on tangents, ain't I? But yeah, I don't want females to think that I'm hateful, and that's another thing about feeling like you've done something wrong when you didn't, because I haven't said anything hateful. You know what I mean? I'm not sorry. And if you don't like this content, I'm not going to say anything derogatory or hateful. It's just, if it's not for you, it's not for you. Just please be respectful. And, if you say something in the comments that's negative, the moment that I recognize that it's negative, I'll just stop reading it. I mean, it doesn't really affect me. You know what I mean? You really can't. I mean, you can't really hurt me with words. I mean, there is power behind words. Like, you can literally, like, curse somebody. There is power behind words, but you don't have to let it affect you. You know what I mean? Because you got to recognize that you have worth. Turn this light on. But men, we have worth. And a lot of times you got to derive that from yourself, and you got to do what you can. You got pray if it works for you. Read the Bible. Meditate, exercise. Just do what you can. You know what I mean? Oh man, yeah. Oh, circumcision is body shaming. It is. I mean, on a very deep subconscious level, I don't feel like I'm a complete man. That's because a part of my penis was taken off. You know what I mean? That really does a lot to you. I mean, it's symbolically, literally. It just doesn't make any sense. Don't make any sense. Yeah, how women just don't understand the world. I just don't think that they really want to. I don't know. As men, I guess we're supposed to lead them, but I don't feel like as a man that's not a responsibility that I need. It's, you know what I mean? Like I feel like as men, we go through trials and tribulations, and we evolve, and we it's like a diamond in the rough, and you put a lot of pressure on us, and we just become beautiful people. But females, y'all don't ever get that. If society kept telling me that oh, you're perfect, and even though I had flaws, like, oh, you're perfect, oh yeah, like, but they really want to have sex with me, like I'd feel like entitled and spoiled and stuff too. I mean, it's not completely your fault that it's not completely women's fault that they have undesirable character qualities. A lot of females, I just I just have one look at them or one little glance, and I'm like, no, I just kind of know what kind of person they are, and I guess that's kind of crappy on my end because I'm like kind of being judgmental, but I'm also being defensive because I just know the majority of females, like if they look real nice, like I go to the gym, and when a very attractive female comes out, I know it's about attention, and yes, that ego boost. If there's like just an inadvertent, like I didn't even mean, just kind of glancing like look, it's just all those bad feelings come in, like, oh, you're just a bad, you're like a creep. Yeah, using that shaming language. Yeah. Calling us creep. Oh man, at college, man, that's oh, creep was going around like crazy. You remember the Ugg boots? Yeah, that's another thing. Y'all females, man, y'all you guys are followers, yeah, of the world. If there's a trend, you don't see guys like following trends like that. We just don't. A lot of us men kind of value individualism. You will find a lot of different types of men. With women, you will see a lot of uniformity. They like to flock together. They just they're followers. It's I don't know. It's just like if the stuff that they were into wasn't so vapid and topical, it would be, I guess, different. But yeah, just females and males are just intrinsically different. Lots of differences. But yeah, they self-justify to the grave. Like women, it seems like it just, they reach like 65, and then they might have like a glimmer of a thought that, wait a minute, maybe I should have been better to men on a humanistic, altruistic, egalitarian, equalist kind of way. Maybe I should have treated men like humans. Maybe I shouldn't have used them completely. I think females only regret their decisions when they have made a bad one. Like they jump to one other guy, they monkey branch to the next guy after, they never really have times where they're single. They just like jump from relationship to relationship. They never really grow. They never go through that pain. And then they might monkey branch to one guy, but then this guy turns into a horrible drunk and beats them or something. And then they're like, wait, I should have settled with this other guy because I wasted like 10 years and I was in my prime at this time. It's like they only have that regret, remorse. They never have that I don't know, like they're not thinking about like the random nice guy they pass by. They don't they just don't care about you. They don't care about you as a person. And then females get mad. They're like, "Oh, I care." Like each one thinks they're different, and it's insane. It's insane. It's like there's no way you can prove to me that you're different because I see what I see, and my experience matches a lot of men's experience. And I think that you can do a cost benefit analysis. You can take the data and pool it together, and you can make a assessment. You know, hot off the presses, the news is that females only get with guys for benefit. They don't like they don't like females just don't value like just someone being nice to them. And I think at the end of the day, just men and women just want someone to be nice to them. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I think as men we have a voice, and I demand that some true equality, no, true equality gets through. You know, we shouldn't make a big deal about like feminism because like if feminism really like, you know, like females should just be treated the same as males, right? Like we shouldn't be like, oh my gosh, it's the first female president. Oh my gosh, like we should just be like, oh okay, she's president now. Treat it like it was like, you know what I mean? Like, don't be like, oh my gosh, watch Wonder Woman because it's like the first female. No, it isn't. There's been other female, like there's been the Tomb Raider movies. There's been the, you know what I mean? Like there's been other female lead movies. Come on, but oh my gosh, the first few, like oh my gosh, like calm down, you know. A lot of guys aren't making a big deal. I don't understand, but the feminist movement was hijacked by, let's just say, rich families, a particular rich family. Society makes females narcissistic. That's something. That's what I was talking about with like the magazines, the shows. It's just it's ridiculous. Like I watch a lot of YouTube videos and I can freeze frame it like right, but like if there's like a little news panel and like somebody's saying like, hey, so and so wrote a book about men, and then there's always like this man-hating woman with like a can I speak to the manager haircut, and like she just you can sense that energy. She looks like she has demons in her, and the men aren't strong enough in those shows. It's crazy because it happens all the time. The men is either not even there, or the men is just some trad con, just like you know, some conservative trad con, just you know, just fall in line and just do what you gotta do to, you know, just come on, bro, you know. It's silly. Like these blue pill men, like they haven't really evolved spiritually because they haven't been through hardship. They've married their high school sweethearts and stuff like that. Like there's too many blue pill men in the media trying to represent men as a whole. But you know, the climate between the sexes has really changed. This whole like traditionalism, you can throw it out the window. It's gone. Like you got single moms. That's the norm, okay? And these TV shows, like I was at the gym today and had some sort of situation comedy thing, and yeah, it was the nuclear family. I can never say nuclear or nuclear. No, it's nuclear, I think. But you got this standard, you know, traditional family, and that image is portrayed to like you got the, you know, the cartoons like the Family Guy and whatnot, and they're always family based, but they're dysfunctional. So they're popularizing the degradation, the corrosion of the family. That's been celebrated. So like on a subconscious level, we are all like self-sabotaging. And we do that in relationships. We totally do that. I think we've been brainwashed to self-sabotage for real. Yeah. I've done it. I find one little thing about a female and I'm like, well, I mean, some of that's justified though, because, you know, I see that she's overly materialistic or she treats me a certain way when I, you know, don't show certain signs or something. Like, I'm very self-aware and analytical, and I know the score. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know. I wish more females were just more humble and approachable and honest, and yeah, they're very deceitful in their nature. They just like they're very materialistic and shallow, and the, you know, like I got family members that won't even talk to me very much. I guess people are just like caught up with their lives and stuff. But I don't know. I just think even though people kind of grow apart and families kind of grow apart anyway naturally, but feminism kind of just wrecked the family altogether. But it's still like feminists are like, yeah, we still need to do this. It's like, okay, you've accomplished the world. What else? You just want to wreck everything. It's like you already got the cake. You're eating the cake now. I don't know. I heard they're taking away that Section 8, that welfare thing. So the welfare program, that's one thing that they're cutting back. So that's a good thing because maybe more people are going to start working. Be honest. We need more honesty in society in general. Maybe society will eventually turn into more of a, you know, I don't know. Maybe we'll you know, turn into like, I don't know. I hope we don't have like a deep recession. It's like the Depression all over again or something like that. I don't know. It's an eventuality. It's going to happen at some point, but I don't know what the world rulers are doing to us, but we're all just guinea pigs. We're all a test subject, and a lot of humanity and stuff. We've lost a whole lot of things. We've gained technology, but I don't know. I don't know. Like I don't want to talk about it too much, but media brainwashing. Oh, the brainwashing is obvious to men, and like why is it not obvious to females? Like they buy into it and they roll with it. I guess they see that they get benefits with the court system. They get benefits. I'm gonna roll down this window real quick. But they get these benefits through society, and men treat them a certain way, and they just know that they can get, the more they complain. But it's like society kind of bends backwards for females, so they just kind of like they're like, oh, okay, I'm not gonna really question the world or have to do much. Like I'm just gonna take the free stuff, and I just think that females just have this bad character quality when it comes to just accepting how things are bad and just saying, and like they might even kind of passively recognize or maybe even passively have a thought. I'd like to think that females have these thoughts at times. Like, do they have the passing thought that, wait a minute, like cutting off a piece of someone's genitals is kind of messed up. It's kind of unfair that they do that to men. Are they capable of having deep thought? Some of them. I mean, like there's the Karen Strawn. She's a men's rights activist. Yeah, like it's hard as a man to, like, we have to question all women, even if they're speaking up, because it's just like so many women are just evil, conniving, opportunistic. So I don't know. Karen Strawn might be. Her heart might be in the right place because she does have 2 sons, I think. There are women. If you're listening, please speak up because society listens to you. Your voice is louder. More people tune in. Like you can do that with a YouTube video if you like. There's this YouTuber that I don't really much care for. It's Angry MGTOW, right? Gets too much press because he's just opportunistic. He always posts videos, but he'll do like these. He just like Sandman. He'll post these like pretty females. Maybe wearing a hat at a picnic, posing. A female, doing some sort of goofy face. You know what I mean? Just a whole lot of like. You see a pretty face, and there's been studies done that you are more likely to click on a thumbnail if it has a pretty female. It has to do with psychology. Maybe we were all babies and we all look towards our mother, so that's like a very deep mental thing. So when you see a pretty face that's a young female, people in general
react to that. So I forgot my main line of thought, but yeah, like Angry MGTOW, he's opportunistic. He posts way too much, like 7 videos a day, and here I am posting like 3 today. But yeah, that's just a whole nother bad cat's thinking about him, because he like called the cops on somebody, lying, saying that some dude smoked weed in front of their kid or something, and then he was just being really, he can't speak. Like, here I am with my long drawn out pauses, but I don't think he gives the as much thought as what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to put a whole lot of content in one thing. He's more quantity over quality, but not trying to bash on anybody. I just think that he's giving MGTOW a bad name, because people who don't know about MGTOW might just click on his videos because he's just always producing content, and then they click on his videos because of that thumbnail, because of his because he's trying to come up with tactics to get people to click. So yeah, he's just bad for the cause, because he's like overly emotional, and I was subscribed to him, but I had to unsubscribe just because it was just like I didn't see where he was doing good for the cause. But I totally went off the subject, but back on point. Feminism is not popular anymore, but females are still feminists. Social chameleons. They probably are total feminists, but they're just gonna keep that on wraps to get with a guy, or to just to get with a guy. And MGTOW is a reaction to feminism, not female hating. We don't want to hate you. We're it's in our nature to love you. We want to. I think that if I wasn't honest, I wouldn't be honest. So I did admit in one of my other MGTOW videos that I don't hate women, but I do resent them. There is an undeniable resentment. I think that dating females is not anything that I'm interested in, and I just think that the damage has been done. I just haven't seen females really. I don't know. Like, I've been growing up. Like, growing up, I've always been like waiting for females to stop being crappy. Well, newsflash, I think females are waiting for us males to just adhere to a certain way. So females are expecting men to be a certain way, and let's just say men are trying to wait for females to be a certain way, and it's stalemate. And there's no way that a male and female in America, in the Western society, can get together without those underlying resentments. And you would have to be friends with a female if you're a male. With between the sexes, you would have to be friends before you just have to, if you wanted to build a relationship or a family, if that's what you wanted to do. But I think, like I said, the damage is done. The resentment is really deep-seated. I don't really see a whole lot on the female end. Men are the active sex. We do the world. We're people, I guess, people pleasers. We become more selfish. Not selfish, but just protecting ourselves. Just focusing on our own lives instead of pleasing females. That's not selfish. That's just we don't owe anything to anybody else anyway. Who says that we do? But I don't see females doing much. Like, females are just the passive sex. They're always waiting, and they don't ask guys on dates. They don't pay on dates. They don't put themselves on the limb to risk their ego and self-worth. They don't do that. They don't. They're always just waiting for you. to do everything. Well, guess what, ladies? We don't want to do anything. We don't want the pressure. It's too much. It really is, and that's truth. You know, um, I don't like females that are like, just fall in line already. Just shut up and go to your corner and cry about it. Who cares? Hey, here's a gun. Just shoot yourself. Yeah, there are a lot of high suicide rates for men, and it's an atrocity. It's another horrible aspect of humanity that is. Well, it's not humanity. It's just a horrible aspect of society. It's horrible. Yeah, females are manipulators. Y'all are covert. Yeah, I'm speaking truth, not hate. Got to keep reminding. Yeah, I feel like when I talk to females, I'm always having to be like, oh yeah, I'm not hating. Yeah, I'm not hating. I'm not hating. Just listen to the content of what we're saying. Like, and don't hang on to little tangents. Like, but you said this. Come on. At what point are you gonna start? You know what I mean? Like, talking to females is just so tedious and cumbersome, and it gets you nowhere. They get you to the point where you just get tired of talking to them, and you're just like, you know what? A lot of men just agree. They're just like, oh, okay, all right, honey, happy wife, happy life. No, don't do that. Oh yeah, I've talked to females before, and like, they don't want to hear anything about what you say as a man. They want you, like, to listen to them, and there's no room for you to talk as a man. And, like, wouldn't it be awesome to just have a conversation? I'm talking a lot because it's my video, right? But if I was talking to someone else, like, I'm a good listener. I try to be. I put forth the effort. I'm very self-aware of that. So I'm less of a people pleaser than I used to be. But if it comes to social interactions and friendships, yeah, I totally do what I can to make things right on my end. And just talking. Yeah, females, they lose interest in you when you talk. Like the way I'm talking right now, it just dries up things down there. That's a very crude way of putting it, but yeah. They lead us to think that it's never the right time. Like how people say there's a time and a place. There's a time and place for everything. Okay, right? Okay. Well, when is it gonna be the right time or place? I'm on YouTube. This is my time. You know what I mean? Like, people just don't want to hear. I guess people just don't want to hear problems in general. But I eat up this MGTOW content because I resonate with it. Because this is, we really do need to start talking about these things, and there's got to be a way for females to talk to other females just about constructive things. Like, where is the constructive conversations? It's all about handbags and fashion and stupid talk shows, and who knows what y'all are into, drinking Starbucks and Ugg boots, and it's just a bunch of, what are y'all doing? There's more to life than that stuff, I guess I'm one to say I'm not being, well, I guess I am being a little bit judgmental. It's like casting generalizations. You can make a generalization when you see common trends, and the majority of females are just you can't have a conversation with them. They don't value you for who you are, and these are common things that not only have I said, but guys say over and over and over and over. And it seems to never really affect females. They don't care about what you think. We're supposed to care about what they think. And females, they care about what other females think. The last thing they care about is you. It's like if you get, with a single mom, don't ever do that, because a single mother will love their kids more than you. I mean, that's kind of the way it is, but you're always just dead last, just avoid single mothers because they made their bed. Let them lie in it.
There's no incentive for men to participate in society anymore. Gynocentric wrecks our self-worth. Gynocentrism wrecks our self-worth. It is a misconception that us men don't think and feel deeply. I think that if you have managed to listen this far, yeah, we do. We're human. We're just as human as you females. Just a little bit more logical. Not as much emotion, but I might be a little bit more expressive than a lot of these men that just are little automatons, But yeah, like like participating in the society, I don't want to. I don't want to go out in public. Just interactions with people in general. It's got to be the additives in the food and the fluoride in the water, keeping IQ down, and radioactive, not radioactive, but microwave, like cell phones and whatnot. And heck, I'm on a thing right now, and we're being under attack. We're being silent killed, and I don't want to get too much into conspiracy, but yeah, it's people are just crappy. I think the food is a big part of it, and alcohol being celebrated in society, and weed and stuff makes you real depressive. Like people they choose to focus on one aspect of doing drugs, like the fun escapism part of it, but then they fail to recognize the rest of their life and how it's affected by, they might be deeply depressed, and they're depressed because of what they're doing, and they don't really, people's mind-body connection isn't really there. Nobody's really, like, people are just like, give me a pill. That's not, if you trusted the pharmaceutical industry all the time, or just the healthcare industry, you're just really in bad hands, because they normalize circumcision. Why do you trust these people? Females, why? You're like, you guys are very powerful with families. You're the glue that holds families together, and you guys are messing up. You guys can't seem to make a good decision, and why is it always up to the man? Because with all this feminism and stuff, it's your time. This is your time to step up and to evolve as people. And, a lot of y'all are sweet. I like a lot of y'all as people. I really do. But yeah, it's time that there's some true equality happening there. Y'all need more responsibility. You need the responsibility that comes with your power. And you stole a whole lot of power. You got your cake. Now it's, with great power comes great responsibility. It's time to be, to have accountability. But why is that something that is only on men's shoulders? It's always up to us men, like the things that men are expected to do is never changed, really. Like, we've always supposed to be these providers and be these strong, and, and females, like, you have feminism. You have all of these protections, all of these laws, and you wreck men, but you don't care. You're taking a lot of jobs away. You're going to college more. There's like 60% college and stuff. So why don't you guys pay for more dates? Why don't you guys ask guys out? Like your female nature isn't changing. Like you need to, like, society is shifting. So females, just y'all don't do anything. Y'all don't do much. When are y'all gonna do it? I don't think y'all are gonna ever do anything. That's the truth. I don't. You know what I mean? But expectations are unfair. Men don't expect anything from females, yet they expect the world from us. They need to put. I can't even read my handwriting. We don't shame them for anything because we want females sexually. So it's best to be friends and forget trying to be. It's best to not even try to court them. I think that when you try to court females and try to go about things the traditional way, you lose respect. you're gonna lose respect. I feel like you're kind of set up to be whittled down, and it's like I don't understand females. Like there's this parasitical nature where they want to suck your energy out. You know, they want to take. They want to break a man, and they don't feel like it's wrong. They don't feel like it's morally wrong to break a man. Like they'll break a man down, then jump to another man, and then just totally forget about the guy that they wrecked. It's things like that. Who does that? Do people like that go to heaven? You know what I mean? Like, there's no real conscious. It's self-justifying, emotion-based thinking. Trying to turn the tables and make the other guy seem like a bad guy. And there's no owning up to what the female did. Females never want to own up to anything, and they're self-justifying along the way. And they think it's okay. Society incentivizes bad behavior. That's why things suck. So, you know, you can divorce a man and take him for all he's worth, and you can get away with it. And a lot of females take advantage of that. And if men had the power to do that to you, a lot of us would not do it. I would say the majority of us would not do it. Because we have the capability to love an individual and to have that ideal sense of love to, you know. A lot of us want relationships, you know, but, you know, I'm starting to think more and more that human beings just aren't meant to have long-term relationships, unfortunately, because female nature is just so haphazard, just changes like the wind. Eventually it's going to fail. Any relationship's going to fail eventually. And the pressure of a man to just keep exceeding expectations, you know, like the man has to continually bring in resources or some sort of success or some sort of accolade, and that's what keeps women on, you know, standing on by. Like they might cheat on you, and they probably do. A lot of females cheat because they can get away with it. You know, they're just very covert and manipulative. Not to say men don't cheat either, but yeah, I do believe that females cheat. You know, totally. Totally. They just don't talk about it. But yeah, like if you know, they get away with too much. People need to self-actualize, stop having kids when they aren't ready. So that's the problem with society. Too many single moms. Just yeah, and people having kids just to take advantage of the system. There's no value put on humans. What about the babies? Babies got to grow up to be people. So you're just selfish. You just want, you know, females blame us men for being selfish, but they're the ones that don't self-actualize. They don't stop and say, hey, wait a minute, maybe having a kid doesn't make a lot of sense. Maybe I should use protection or avoid sex or pursue more of a, I don't know, like just get to know this guy before we start having sex. Maybe we should get married before we have sex, stuff like that. I regret not. I regret losing my virginity. I wish I still had it, because if I knew that any of my girlfriends that it wasn't going to work, I would have avoided it altogether because it didn't amount to anything. You know what I mean? So you know, my heart is wax cold. You know, like I think that a lot of men's hearts is wax cold. Like we grow up blue pill, and then we just don't want to keep going through the ringer. We want to be, you know, we want to be left alone eventually, because it's better. Like we that's what's so beautiful about MGTOW, is that we really do get self-worth by ourselves. we have a lot of support through YouTube and MGTOW community, which is really great. So yeah, and that's why I'm talking. Like I got a lot to say, you know, and I can see how somebody could be like, oh yeah, MGTOW is just a bunch of whiners, but you know what? We can say that about females too. We're human, you know. But yeah, I already reached that point. Yeah, we're more than just a wallet. I think that's worth mentioning. Oh yeah, we're the true victims. You know, we're circumcised for goodness sakes. I mean, I really can't get. How can I get past that? How can anybody get past that? There's actual genital skin getting cut off and blood and everything, but that's you know, men, we just are told to suck it up, and then females, like, nothing happens, you guys get a free pass, your genitalia is fine, and guess what, you guys complain the most at it, anybody. This is my video, I can complain the whole time, enjoy. But yeah. Yeah, how women misunderstand men and stay in a seemingly willful state of confusion about men's needs and wants when they can just, yeah, they can, y'all can just talk to us about what men want. Like, why y'all have to go look into outside sources? Look within, have a relationship with yourself, ask yourself why things are the way they are. Talk to men as a people, because if you view men as people, like, maybe you can actually have a real interaction and then get to know his likes and dislikes if you really wanted to get to know him and get, you know what I mean? Not just do and manipulate him. But no, females, they read a magazine, they read, they watch some show, they're looking in the external. There's no internal feedback loop going on. There's just, you know, what kind of garbage can I put in my head? Because that's what normal people do, right? You know, I don't get it. Females, why are y'all looking outward? How can people in general just look outward? Looking at what other people are doing. Oh, is that person doing that? Okay, I'll do that. Not saying, wait a minute, why is this person doing this? Does it make sense? All it takes is 2 seconds. Common sense. Yeah, men die in wars, so why does society dog on men? Yeah, why do women vote if they don't get drafted? I can see how females can be upset. Like why do you think women shouldn't vote? Well, because you don't die in wars. Really, y'all really just don't get it. Society has treated y'all so good that y'all are just beyond repair. There's no talking sense to y'all. Like that lady that was talking with the YouTube video. Like, you know, I was very, you know, calm and measured and just not inflammatory on my end. And then what she do? She just jabs with the trying to shame, and you know, it's like you just see this coming. It's just like if you're the only voice in a sea of stupid. If you're the only voice in the sea of stupid, you know, of course the stupid sharks are gonna bite. I know that's a horrible analogy, but yeah, like there's no reason. How can you be like that all the time? I put, you know, I pose that question to you females. You know, why are you that way? And, you know, us men, we've really had enough of that. I think I've stated enough of my grievances. I guess this is me airing my grievances, and this is not to be taken as a personal attack on females. I feel like I keep having to reiterate that, even though I've done nothing wrong. You would feel the same way if you were a man. Well, I guess we're all dynamic. I mean, there would be variations. You might feel slightly different in one aspect or another, but yeah. Females, there's not a lot of responsibility put on you, and it's about time. It's about time. It's past time. Yeah. But I'm gonna keep keeping on and being happy and focusing on myself, because feminism has freed men from the responsibilities of having to deal with y'all. You know what I mean? Like, talking about all this injustice stuff is just kind of like deep seated, like old blue pill feelings I still have. But the new me is the red pill, independent, interesting, creative, adventuresome person that I have enough free time to be, because every time I was with a female, like, y'all are dream killers. You really keep us from our potential, and I don't have anybody pressuring me to be a certain way, so I'm free to do whatever